Leaving?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We got too many sweat. Take care of it.
Good evening and welcome to the Waterboro Budget Committee meeting. We're going to start by introducing ourselves.
Diane C. Hagan.
Sherry Stone.
Jim Southford.
John Burrows.
Thomas Lee.
Ted Doyle. Tim Neal.
Gary Lamb. Julie Giles will be in here momentarily, treasurer.
All right. So, on tonight's agenda, the first thing is to discuss insurance, FICA, and retirement figure updates.
And if you go to page 3, Julie did quite a bit of work to get these things done. Now that we have the number of new people proposed. Line 54 was the FICA line. And keep in mind that column B in here, the department column, as you go down through the whole thing, has 5 new full-time employees in that column. 4 of those are from the fire chief. In his column, in his budget, he proposed all 4 of those new positions in 1 year. Column C in mine, when you get to the fire department, you'll see the reduction here. I'm proposing 2 of those in this next budget. So when we get down to the fire department, you'll see that change, that follows through. Obviously, retirement, plan costs and health insurance and everything else would be adjusted by that. Same thing in line 59. Line 59, column B has 5 new full-time employees in health and dental insurance costs. And mine is, instead of 451,580 under column D, under column C, I have 416,415 for what would be 3 new full-time employees. 2 fire and 1 transfer station. So those are the big differences in those lines right there.
Does it include the part-time person in the assessor's office?
We think we're going to be able to handle that in-house.
Okay.
And so we've got Georgia Hall, who works out front here, who would like some, maybe able to have some more hours when one of her kids is in pre-K, I guess you would say. She's already helped in there, she's interested in the work, so we may not need all those funds. We need to to pay her, but I don't know that we're going to need to hire a new person right now.
Okay.
And it would be nice to take existing staff and have them a little more compatible with other tasks. So insurance is FICA, retirement, so thanks to Julie for getting those done.
So what is the one transfer? Is that for Clint's position or is that for another position?
That is for another primarily driver position.
A driver.
Yep. Right now Terry Garrity and Dave Benton are the only 2 trained on the truck CDLs that we have. Jason Champion has a CDL. He hasn't been trained on the truck yet, but that's going to happen fairly soon, I think, because we need 3 people to do this. The budget that was presented last week, she had 565 loads proposed, I think.
Yes.
11 a week. We missed a week, we're in trouble. We have a backup system in terms of Herrick, who will come bail us out if our truck breaks down. We're going to pay heavily on an hourly basis if they have to come, but that's okay. This truck was a very smart purchase. It's doing a good job, but Terry Garrity has to work every weekend. That cannot stand. When David Benton gets back, he's probably going to have to jump in that truck for him and/or get Jason trained up on it. This person in his budget would not be able to start until July 1.
Okay.
But
So is Herrick added into that transfer station budget
no,
just in case we need to, or that will come out of something separate?
that would come out of the transfer station. It would overextend the hauling line probably if we had to use that.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have anything budgeted for them at this point.
Can't we just get somebody that's already working there trained to drive?
Well, we have 3 people on paper. It's just that only one of the 3 is actually doing much of the hauling. When we get this other one, that will be a 4th person that has the potential to do it. During the construction season, Jason's a valuable operator on road projects, and I wouldn't necessarily want to take him off there if we have to. This other person would primarily be hauling trash and moving cans. Right now, it's just David or Terry, and when David's in Florida, Terry's feeling like he's working all the time, and we need to change that. I don't want anybody having to work every weekend, including interim Josh and the future transfer station manager, whoever that is. We need to have some backup there. We've hired one new young person who's going to be trained in the office. He's had some cash register experience before. He's about as young as Josh, I think. We tried him out last weekend. There you got a taste of it there. You might have seen him there if you were there. He was Sean Adams. And hopefully that'll work out. He could be a good person to help run the office. Let's see. Unless there's any questions on insurance, FICA, retirement, let's go to line 365. Transfer station. Pretty much just for that question that Diane just asked. The truck driver in this position in line 365, the last of the black text in there, says truck driver 40 hours, a little over 40,000. That's new to this line, but it's not a new position. We had funded Terry last year's budget in public works. So you'll see this line went up. You look under column F as in Frank, for this, you see we were 105,700 last year. Now we're at 156 and change. So we moved Terry Garrity's driving costs over to the public works. Plus we've added the new part-time employee in Reddy there, one new part-time person. The transfer stations are growing to really, we could have 4 people down there. One person in the office, one person on household rubbish, one person on recycling. And there's enough work down there, always cleaning up, always using the loader backhoe to smash things down. And then part of the extra time, if we have 2 drivers, that's 80 hours a week for driving. We do not have 80 hours of driving time down there. But there's plenty of other things to do at the transfer station or public works road projects so that we can fill out that person's time. You can always clean up around the place down there. This time of year it's tough because by the time it's frozen. So understand that this big increase in here is only one new part-time position. It's just moving another 40,456 over from another. Let's see. I think that was the only other change I had for transfer station. Let's go to capital.
Plus your retirement, Gary. It's a change.
Right, yeah. All the retirement lines are filled in now, so all the individual budget lines have the retirement costs in there, which was something that was, the total retirement lines were, what,
I didn't add them up.
$150,000 or more.
Something like that, yes.
And we didn't have the health insurance in there too, so I mean, the budget on the bottom line is quite complete now. Enough so that you folks can start making decisions. Well, let's see, what do I want to clean out in capital? Just as a refresher, on page 19, please, line 498, point out that in column D, in Matt's column, he has $217,000, 3-bay garage, and with a full foundation in there, and I have 0. I think you folks need to make your thoughts known in your budget and to the selectmen about whether or not you would think that's a good idea or whether or not we should entertain adding on to the station. You can see where my thoughts are.
May I ask a question about that? What is he looking for $217,000
He got
specifically?
a 3-bay garage, freestanding, heavily insulated, with some heat in it, no water. That was a rough estimate from a Patco or a contractor package deal.
That's what size building?
Oh gosh, I think it was 40 feet deep and at least as long, parallel to John Smith Road.
I think that price is just absolutely ridiculous, because I talked to a contractor today and asked him a figure off the top of his head for a 30 by 40 building insulated with a foundation, 4-foot foundation, and he said somewhere between 55 and 65.
That sounds like a heck of a deal.
That sounds like a heck of a deal.
That sounds like it's missing a one in front of it. But, I mean, this building would be bigger than that. I agree this is high. I was thinking we'd be in the 100 to 150.
I mean, for $217,000, you can build a complete house with electrical, water, bathrooms, sinks, kitchens, bedrooms, heat, everything. And he's looking for a 3-bay garage for $217,000? I think he's way off base there. That's my personal
Well,
opinion.
I'd like to see if the selectmen would go back and entertain adding on to the fire station.
And
It's crowded, we could use some more space over there. I know it's expensive, but I think in the long run, it would be better to add on to the fire station.
Just so, my comments here is a taxpayer, not a selectman today.
Yeah, I agree.
So-
It's very much on the high end, but it was one quote.
And I think what you just said, Tom, is a very good idea. But again, we can come up with something, put some figures out there, but it's up to the rest of the people that vote in this town. And that's been a hard pill to swallow for many years now.
But what are they hoping to use the 3-bay garage for? Is it the
Storage
ladder or the
No, that's not big enough.
UTV,
UTV, boat.
so it's not gonna solve any problem with the fire station itself in terms of,
It'll take one or more vehicles or pieces of equipment out of it at times. You can put the forestry truck in there. Right now, I think that's down south station. So in terms of the other identified needs in terms of office space entryway, whether you're for or against that, obviously this storage building doesn't solve any of those things. I'd like to get rid of those two, that one wooden shed and that one canvas shed on the side that has a boat trailer in it.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be plumbed, I think it should be heated because you might be working up there. But it can be temporary heat, you can turn on and off. I just wanted to point that out because when we get down to the bottom line, there's quite a difference in the bottom line at the very end here, and that's one of the things that's, in excess of $200,000 difference.
In the capital equipment, 493, the V-plow for the service truck,
Yes.
you're recommending, what are we going to use to plow the fire station if we don't buy them a plow? What are we using now?
Right now, we use Tommy's truck and Public Works staff does all of that.
Is that going to be viable in the future?
Well, I would rather keep that truck. Whether or not we plow with it is a decision. We gotta plow for it. I mean, in the budget here is a new truck with a new plow.
Right.
1 ton like that. But it's still running okay. It has its problems now and then with electronics. But I would rather keep it, and we talked about bottles at the transfer station last week. I'd rather put some stake size on that. And if we're gonna have that other driver around, we've got 80 hours of driver time, we've got to fill that person's time, it's not gonna all be driving. So if we get thousands of dollars, a few $1,000s, for fuel assistance every year at bottles, we put them in a concert hut, and JDs won't come and pick them up. Well, let's take them there once a week. Let's do some little things like that, and some more maintenance and pick up and clean up, with that place has been needs. And that truck would be a perfect thing to use that for. And it would be nice for the fire department to have a plow on that service truck they have now. They would use that to get down to a house rather than wait for Public Works if the ambulance needed to get down there and we had a foot of snow. And they would use it for plowing around the fire station as well. But it's not essential. And right now, we're up almost $500,000 in my column.
Yeah.
So I'm sensitive that I may need to make some changes at the recommendations of you folks and selectmen because we may not be able to do all that. Any other questions on capital? Let's go to unclassified, the next page, page 20. And what you folks might have heard, not from me, maybe some others, is that Kevin Collins, our second shift deputy, is being promoted. So, I just got a phone call from the major. They're gonna have interviews next Wednesday, I guess. I don't know if it's gonna be you or Dennis going.
In morning or afternoon?
Afternoon.
Okay.
Starting at 1, but we should be there a little before
Is
that.
that at the jail?
Yep,
Okay,
we can talk before. He's emailing me resumes so I can
okay.
get those people. Was it gonna be you or Dennis?
Why don't you send it to me, and send it to both of us, I'll talk to him, see what he wants to do.
So that may make the $190,000 in there. We might not need all of that, but I'm not gonna change that at this point in time because we have no idea who the deputy would be. The 3 people that are interested in the in-house promotion, in-house job, not promotion, it's a lateral transfer. This one new person would not be as costly as Kevin Collins now because none of the 3 have the seniority that he does. So the 190 is sufficient, we do not need to go up on that, that's for sure. And going down through here, let's just go right down to unclassified as a review. York County taxes have been estimated in there. In line 525 and below, comp plan has nothing, we're not redoing our comprehensive plan at this time. Road review, economic development committee in line 527 still has some funds that we can roll over if they get active again. Lake Arrowhead, milfoil, traditional $3,000, which I think is money well spent, because if that is not tackled, then within a few years, Lake Arrowhead will be almost unvotable, if you will, if milfoil takes over. The board and committee stipends stayed the same. I don't think we're going to be using all of that money. We could perhaps have a little bit of wiggle room there if we wanted to grab a few $1,000. We don't have the stipends. We had that in this year's budget too, stipends for people.
Yes, it's in there as a full dollar.
Oh, it's under the recycling committee, okay, yeah. I see that.
So you're putting Life Flight back in?
I did not. Like, in the department column, the B column in here, if they submitted a request, I put it in that column. I took your lead last year, you did not want to fund that, so I didn't. But anything in column B, you'll see on line 542, there was a new request from Maine Public TV and Radio, $100. I'm not interested in new organizations like that that are not local or even regional here, so I didn't fund it. That's the only new request I think that we had in there. Other than that, I funded pretty much what was last year for agencies. Under Old Home Days, this is a placeholder that I haven't had any feedback.
Yeah, they said that they were probably just gonna leave it the way it is.
Is it the way it is?
Yeah, they're gonna keep carrying with the same budget number.
Okay. Sherry's on the committee, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's good. So bottom line, down in the very bottom of this, row 560, 7,179,817. That's up 498,742. If you don't look at the revenue side at all, if you take just that as additional expenses, that's 66 cents or thereabouts on the mill rate. And remember, we had a significant increase last year, but we were treated well with revenue. The growth we had, I think we were $12 million in residential and commercial growth. This time around, that'll probably be a little less. But we've also got the Town Line Deli, which is going to be finished. There'll be more assessed property there. And Shirley and I are going to take a hard look at the CMP lines. Tom and I were talking about this before you folks got here. Shirley has discovered that when CMP put their numbers in for those lines in town, it was kind of construction costs. It was not today's assessed value. And she sees multiple millions of dollars of new valuation there that she doesn't feel will be challenged by Central Maine Power. In a lot of towns, CMP Power Lines is the biggest taxpayer. So I think on the revenue side, we'll be okay. We still have a healthy fund balance. We did not use the 800 last year that we could have. I think we used 650 to keep the same tax rate. That's a good thing. So we're just under $500,000 over. And remember, my column has 3 new positions in it, with those numbers that I was just talking to you about. The column to the left of the department has 5 new positions. One of them being part-time. So, part-time staff costs, we'll talk about that. Town report budget line, just kind of a point of information. I'm sorry, I think go back to page 2. $1,500, I know that either John or somebody else made the recommendation that we try to go digital with this. I just want you to know, and the public to know too, that $1,500 will only buy you about 270 books. That's fine with me, if that's what you folks want to do, but we gave away more than that this year because we didn't catch the production to cut it in half if you will, like you did last year. So, last year we bought 650, and that we just didn't catch it in time. So the $1,500 will buy the 270 books. I just want you to know that. The other thing that I think is in here, but I don't have a word, if you look at line 38, please, on page 2. We don't do anything for our employees. And this is something new that's bothered me for a while, and I want to talk to you folks about it and with the selectmen later. I'm glad 2 of them are here tonight. We do essentially nothing. It was proposed this year that we go bowling as a group. Well, I can't be taking just the town hall staff and go do something for Christmas without doing something for everybody. That's just not right. I would be fine with turkeys or hams or something. We've got, I think, just under 30 full-time people here, or almost full-time. This does not include the summer help. But either way, $1,000 or a little bit more if you're spending $25 or $30 on somebody at a meal, a function or whatever. I think that's at least some gesture. Whereas right now we do nothing. And the other thing that's recently come up that I encourage is health club memberships. We've had, I think, 3 people in the last month want to join the Massachusetts Health Resources, go down there and exercise. And I'm all for that, and I think we should support that. So at $15 a month, that's $180 a year. That's half the cost of the membership down there. $1,000 coming out of this 5 will buy you 5 memberships, contribution toward that. We bumped this line up from 3 to 5. I did that just because we've used it more, but I think what I would like to do is go back and actually put these uses in that line for the next version of this budget to have discussion with the selectmen on. I'm almost embarrassed at times at Christmas time that we do nothing for our employees.
I think we should do something, I'm thinking more of a Hannaford gift card. So I think we should do something at Christmas time. I really do. The health memberships I'm not so sure of, but I think we should do, like you said, a ham, a turkey, a gift card at Hannaford. At least, it's not that much money. I mean,
Well, I'd say that right up front and put it right in the document, and then we can have that discussion all the way up to the selectmen, and the public can see this as well. I hadn't initially pegged that for the additional $2,000 in here, but it's something I'm going to recommend.
Tim, what do you think the board would think about that?
I can't speak for them, but I know, unfortunately, from experience, that when you help someone with the health club membership, someone who doesn't want to do it still wants the equivalent money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Whereas giving out gift certificates would be something that everyone would get.
Everyone would get the same.
That type of thing, exactly.
And if I could intercede here, Massa Basic gives us a discount where we are the town. They give us a sizable discount. So
Normally it was $40 a month, right?
I believe so,
They're gonna
but,
charge us 30.
yeah. And I didn't even know that the girls were even doing it. And if you're gonna do that, you're gonna have to open that up to the entire, all the employees, not just this office.
Well, I would open it up to the 29 or so full-time employees we have,
I understand that, but I meant,
not per
didn't-
diems and recreation part-time.
but still, you might be able to even get a better rate through MMA as a benefit for that.
Better rate where?
In your health benefits.
Oh.
If you're trying, rather than the town picking up the bill, let them pick up the bill.
I don't know that they'll do that, but that's a fine thing if they will.
You know, it's just like we got reimbursed when we put in all the safety equipment that's not being, that was when they came in there to ergonomically do the office. And they gave us a substantial bonus on that. They gave us, that's my.
So my proposal is for the health club memberships to pay 50%.
And the other thing, what if they're not using them and we're paying for them?
Then I would say, if I find that out, I'd say we're gonna stop this. Summertime, I would think, I don't know the details down there, but I assume you pay by the month and not by the year.
They have different plans where you can pay monthly or you can pay 6 months or a year.
Or a year.
So I would talk to people about what they want. A lot of people don't want to go to the gym in the summertime. That's fine. I guess I don't fully agree with, you gotta do something equivalent for other people. If they want to be healthier and they want some help doing that, I think we should encourage that.
And you're rewarding them for being.
Right. And I don't think we owe everybody that $15 for something if they're not gonna be healthier. That's
Well,
my
they could be
point.
getting healthier on their own.
Yeah.
They don't need the gym, they might have their own gym at
Then
home.
Make the case and maybe we'll do something else of a different nature.
Yeah.
Don't those things typically, I know where I work, if you do the health club or something like that, the insurance company will give you a break.
That's what I'm, yeah.
So I don't know if it would be incumbent on you. Listen, they're getting the town discount anyway, but it would have to be, I would think it'd be more the responsibility of the insurance provider to provide the incentive for the employee to do that. And jumping back, obviously, I think the Christmas thing is a great idea. I mean, personally, it was.
You have an
Many
amount in mind, in your mind, in the
How many employees are there?
29, let's call it 30 full-time, or almost full-time. We have a couple 32-hour people. I can still call them full-time on personnel policy. But
Trying to figure it out. $100, $150, I don't know. I equated many moons ago when I was first employed. They gave us a Christmas basket, 2 boxes full of everything from hors d'oeuvres to dessert, including a turkey. I worked for a beer distributor at the time, a 6-pack of beer and everything. By the time we got fairly large, they replaced it with a gift card. I think it was $125 or something. But when I was really young and I couldn't afford it, it was like a Christmas present. You'd bring the boxes home and see what was in there. But your point is well taken. You got to do something for them, and I think a gift card's the way to do it.
$50 is $1,600 in the budget, that's not much. And it is, I mean, you come in here and they're busy all the time.
It's a big deal.
You go to the transfer station, they're busy all the time. I don't see DPW too much. I mean,
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
They're all good bunch.
yeah, I'd say $50 a piece.
I like that number better. I think it's more of a meaningful gift than 25 or 30. I didn't want to go that high, but I certainly would not object to that. In my mind, I'm down to the number 4. So I guess I'm open for comments, priority discussion, votes that you folks want to start moving forward. So we're open to you folks.
Down to number 4.
On the agenda.
On the agenda, I'm
agenda.
sorry.
Oh, all right. The discussion on possible new fire department staff costs. town report budget line, and possible new employee health club membership contributions, and possible employee recognition funds.
In my mind, we've completed that, so
Yeah.
I guess you can say we're on to number 5.
Well, except for the
Well,
fire department
Except
staff
for the fire
costs.
departments, yeah.
It's 32 employees with, if you put in everybody.
What's that?
32 employees are eligible right now if you put that for your Christmas, okay?
Gary, if we went with the 2 firefighter option versus the 4, what will you do next year? Would you bring those 2 forward next year? Maybe 1 that year and 1 the year after, 2 next year, or however?
I would, go to page 12. Very top of page 12, you see that individual line breakout between Matt and myself. I believe that the situation with call firefighter response is not going to get better.
No.
And I think we need to do something because we have full-time people who don't have enough bodies on scene, especially nights and weekends. And 4 new people, 24/7, gives you only 1 person throughout the week. That's a start, and it's an expensive start. And that's what we're proposing, either 1 year, 2 year, or 4 years, whichever the case may be.
And he said that they were going to advertise for people that are already certified for these positions,
They would have,
so that we don't have to do the,
that's right.
so that we won't be any cost to
We would
train.
not hire somebody unless they were already qualified to work.
Right. And we think, and they feel that this will help with the lack of response on the service call list.
It'll start anyway. I mean, sometimes when you only have 3 people on, you get 2 ambulance calls, you have to wait for another person, or call mutual aid. You cannot send an ambulance out with 1 person.
And mutual aid, how much does that cost?
It doesn't cost us anything.
It doesn't?
We all aid each other and there's no charge.
Okay.
For most, I don't remember hearing about a bill from another town unless maybe we damaged something or somebody else did, we owed that to them.
But it delays the response too, a lot of times.
And the ladder truck, I sent you guys a note, the ladder truck went down last weekend, I think there were 4 incidents, I think it said, over a weekend, with 2 chimney fires and something else where Goodland's Mills ladder, I think, had to come. Because of the hinge pins on the cab that Matt was talking about that night. So,
What, how do you feel about their retention at the fire department now? So like, how many full-time people do they have now?
we're very blessed. If you go back to the bottom of page 11,
Yeah.
Pete Turgeon has been here for 21 years.
Would you like me to give them the pay chart, because it has the date of hire on them?
Is that for fire only? Or
That's for everybody.
That's for everybody. If they want to see it, public information.
Would you like?
Yeah. We have 3 captains that have been here a long time, I think, from 7 to 20 plus years. I think one of the biggest retention tools we have here is our health insurance.
Yeah.
100% paid by the employee. That's, I think, probably increasingly uncommon.
Paid by the employee?
Paid for the employee.
Oh, paid for, yeah, I was like,
I was gonna say,
yeah,
what
that
kind of
doesn't sound like a benefit.
Did I say paid by?
Yeah, I felt like, sounded like,
Yeah, that's not much of a retention. And then meeting people halfway for the jump to family coverage. When my wife was on my health insurance, it cost me $10,000 per year. Now we meet that halfway for the employees. The selectmen made that decision and the townspeople voted for it. So that's an additional $5,000 bonus to people that want to have family coverage.
yeah. Do you think that there could be anything done in terms of trying to get the service call people to want to be available, more available?
I think the tough thing is in a commuter town like we are, and a younger family town like we are, that's so hard to do. There's so much training that's involved in being able to come and put on an aircraft to be able to legally go into a burning building. We have, oh gosh, out of our 50 call firefighters on paper, I don't even know if we have a dozen that are call firefighters only that could go into a burning building legally. They're trained for that. So many of the people you heard me talk about come in, I want to be in the fire department. They sign up and they're not able to, or they don't do the training for whatever reason. And he's very frustrated. That's why he's proposed what he has for 4 new people. He's done this for years in trying to get people to improve their availability. And we're training our way out of this. It's not the fault of any one department. It's the regulation. It's the NFPA. It's insurance companies driving all this. And it's happened over many years. It's not just something that has happened in the last 5. I think the whole insurance, we want to get off base here. You know, you get a reduction in your household insurance if you're within 5 years of 5 miles of a fire station. I think that's ridiculous. And a lot of fire department budgets are based on,
Oh, do you have
Every time we
a
down.
sorry, that's okay.
a lot of fire department budgets and philosophy of how many stations you have engaged on that 5-mile radius.
Thank you.
Philosophically, I have a problem with it.
The screen and I missed the part about the monitor in the garage where the fire trucks and EMS trucks are. There's a screen, a monitor.
That's to show people immediately who's responding. They can look up at that and know, just by looking at that screen. When the bell's going off and they're getting ready to go out in the truck, they can see that and know.
Okay.
If anybody else is toned in from their home on their way. That's not the only benefit, but I know that's probably the lead. That's why it's so big.
Yeah, because I was wondering if people could somehow communicate their availability if they wanted to.
They do that immediately with this. It's called the I am responding feature. Everybody that wants to have this app on their phone, most of all firefighters do, they take those calls on their phone.
So then they know, but they know who's going to go if there's a call. But do they know before there's a call if there's anyone that's available?
No. I don't know how you would do that.
I think you could bet that Matt and Lisa have tried everything they can try. They're pretty professional to try to retain or try to get the people out more often.
You know, some parts of the country do regular payment. It's almost like employees, call force, being your employees, they're paid to be available. That's one thing you can do.
Call pay.
Other states do. But right now, they're paid on an hourly basis when they go to a call.
Yeah, only when they go on a call.
But you could pay them to be available and be in the station, if you will.
Well, there's a handful that seem to be always available on a call. So maybe those people, you might be able to offer something to, because they seem to be more dedicated than.
Yeah, I think that's true. But the human beings, the 80-20 rule, 20% of people are going to volunteer most of the time. I think that's just human nature.
Yeah.
And families and jobs, I mean, such a high percentage of people work out of town here.
Yeah.
But I think that's what we're talking about. Nice thought. Matt and Lisa were here, I bet you they can talk for another few minutes on things they've tried or thought about in that regard. Your original question before we got waylaid there on retention, so, you know, 5 captains are in here at the bottom of page 11. Captain and deputy chief. Pete Durgin's the longest serving, 20 years plus. And last one was probably 4 years ago, I think we got the captain.
Christopher was the last one in 17.
2017.
Yes.
And Chris is also the part-time chief and outfitter. Was last time I knew him. He took that job about a year ago. With them knowing that when he's here, he's not the fire chief, and he's not there.
And these are all just full-time employees, right?
Yes.
I don't think so. You've got some part-timers on there.
Most of them, the library would be part-timers,
Okay.
and the transfer station,
Transfer station,
so,
some recreation as well.
Okay.
What would you like
So-
to talk about now in terms of your work?
Do you guys want to talk more about the fire department?
Well, the fire department, I think you have the prioritizing part of it. Obviously, they need the 4 bodies, but they also need a new ladder truck. So it pretty much puts me in line with Gary that the shed, whether it's $100,000 or $200,000, is certainly needed, but I don't think it's needed as much as a new ladder truck. So you have to, in a perfect world, yeah, no problem, but as you say, this bottom line, you can't do it all. So the compromise would be the 2, and then whatever we do next year or something as far as personnel goes. But the fire truck, and the numbers that are in this budget for the fire truck are the 8 to 10-year-old used. We're ballparking $500,000.
Yeah, I think that was interesting.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't be voted on as part of the budget, would it? Would that be a separate item?
It'd be on the capital.
How about the shed, same thing?
No,
That would be folded
I would
into the
put that in
budget.
the regular budget.
I'm just thinking the truck could be like a poison pill, even the shed, you know, to have them actually vote down the entire budget for the fire.
Well, we did ask Christine that question, of whether or not we can have as many questions on the ballot as we want. If we want to ask an individual question about the ladder truck, or 4 new people, or 1 new person, we can pull that out and ask that. So, there's no shortage to the number of individual questions we can take out of any budget in here and have its own question to the voters.
Yeah, and that's fine, but I don't know how many people would fully understand what's going on at the fire station to be able to make an informed decision.
That's true, but you have that problem every year.
That's always the wild card, no matter what you do.
That's every year.
I could see the employees being part of their budget, and then the ladder truck and the building being separate items, just to protect the budget from the
Right.
vote, just for that.
Exactly.
But I agree with Gary that we need to start building it up, and I think 2 would be a good place to start. 2 new full-time employees.
With a plan that we will, 2 more next year or the year after. Maybe like 2 next year or 1 each the next 2 years. Yeah. To
We
me,
have to do
police,
something.
fire, rescue was the first
Well, yeah,
priority
we
of the
need to see
budget.
how 2
We need
full-time
that.
work out.
We have to have police, fire, and rescue. At that point, you know, we need to plow the roads, we need to collect the trash, or have a transfer station. Some of the other things are not as important.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Well, I mean, I think we need to see what type of employees that they can attract and hire, and see how, like if this year we say 2 new employees for the new year, and then they hire 2 new. I mean, I'd like to see how it all worked out. Were they able to get people that were certified? Were they
If we don't.
able to get 2? Were they able to, you know, are they still with us at the end of the fiscal year?
You have that challenge with any employee, but they wouldn't be hiring somebody that couldn't come in as soon as they're check riding with all the vehicles. They would be certified to go into a burning building, ride the ambulance, be in the back of the ambulance too, at least the EMS basic level. That's
Right.
the goal here.
Right.
Hop in a fire truck or an ambulance.
Gary, the dollar figure he's got there for each one of these individuals, what is it, the 44.2 or whatever? Is that, how does that compare to other towns in the area as far as attracting people?
I think we're in the middle of the road, or maybe a touch above that. It's not the highest. Certainly when you get into the Biddeford and Sanfords, we can't compete there. But I think that's the answer he would give.
If those funds were approved for 2 individuals by the voters in June,
Yep.
and you post the positions for people to apply, and you don't get anybody that's certified, do those funds carry over to the next year? Can we fence those so that it's there next year to continue to attract other people?
If we don't spend it, we can carry it forward into the operations budget, can we?
Net salaries, I don't think you can.
So that defaults back to the general
The
fund
funds,
then?
yes.
Okay, didn't know that.
So is there nothing that says it can stay? Is there any type of ordinance or whatever you guys have to do so that it can be dedicated to staying with the fire department?
Well, if it's in the budget and we spend it, obviously it stays there.
Right, but if it doesn't, if you don't hire and then it defaults back to the general,
Then you just go.
are we
budget
starting all
again.
over again the next year?
Right, but essentially, the fund balance has been made whole in money that you didn't spend, and you can go back and use that again in next year's budget. It's essentially saying what you're doing,
Okay.
but not carrying it forward like perhaps we cannot do in a salary line, like what Julie said.
Okay.
Bottom line is there's only one main checkbook here, one account. The account would be the same. If you put it back in the fund balance or roll it over into the next year's budget, the impact of the taxpayer is the same. It would essentially be zero if you didn't spend it.
2017, the captain cost us just under $42,000. That captain added, because I just did his salary. They work 42 and a half hours. They're covered by the Garcia law. And it comes out to 41.9.
So if you take 44,200 divided by 2,080, the number of hours in the year, that's $21 and change.
They don't work, they work 42 and a half.
But don't they work 2,080 in total?
And that may be, that's full-time, that's 40 hours a week, but the fire department's 42.5.
5 times 52, divided by 2210. $20 an hour.
Might be a question for a different venue, but if the money's approved, we hire 2 people that are certified, is there anything you can put in their contract to say that they have to stay here for a minimum period of time, like 3 years before they move on?
I guess if you, first of all, we don't have contracts for folks like that. I guess you could put a financial penalty. I would not want to have contracts for frontline firefighters. We have contracts for administrators and department heads. If if they don't stay here, then we hire somebody else. I mean, are you thinking about training costs? Is that why you're thinking that way?
Well, you said that you wouldn't hire them if they weren't certified and trained, so.
There's still training they have to do.
Yeah,
The training here, you have to get checked out in the individual trucks. You cannot legally drive a truck unless you've been check righted out of that. That's easy to do for somebody who's a trained firefighter, who's a firefighter 1 or firefighter 2, EMS basic. They don't need the dozens or a few hundreds of hours of classroom training to get trained up to do that work. They just need the in-house vehicle training, I guess you will. Department of Labor standards in terms of what they can drive. They're coming to us experienced, they know how to drive a truck. They just need to be check righted on our vehicles. That's what matters.
Gary, would they necessarily be hired as a captain right off the bat?
They would not be captain.
Okay, because that's how the others were added in the budget, is stated that they would be captains.
Right, these would not be. I don't know if they'd be lieutenants or they'd just be called firefighters, I'm not sure. But I asked that question. They would not be. Firefighter / EMT, I guess is the title we use at the moment.
Because that's getting them right up close to the captains that have been there for a long time to start.
And if we want to get them, we've got to pay a little bit more in terms of the market. Yeah, we paid some of our people to run equipment $70 an hour more than the highest trained firefighters that 10 or 20 years we have here. That is uncomfortable at times in discussions that I have with people. Believe me. I think this group of senior officers we have appreciates the attempts at enlarging the station, 2 of them. I think they see a new roof on the building in terms of thermal efficiency and saving the building. A new ambulance a few years ago, not so new now. Fire truck on the way, and we don't know what the result's going to be on the ladder truck. But they're not unaware that things are being done here. And I think the selectmen and the budget committee recognize the challenges that they're in terms of call force. That's a fact of life now. I don't think anybody's going to refuse. They may not want to spend the money, and that's fine. I understand that. But the need, I think, is demonstrable.
When you say here reduction
Where are you?
in 301,
Yeah.
reduction in volunteer call force availability, are they going through the list and telling people you haven't been on a call in such a period of time, so we're
They touch
removing you
base
from our
with them,
list?
but they can't force people. We don't have regulations or policies that say thou shalt respond to a certain number. I suppose we could go down that road if we want to, but I think your call force would watch.
So what he's just saying is what is obvious, that there's been an obvious trend
Yeah.
in the reduction in.
Were you here that night or were you sick? When you
I
did
was
the
sick.
Presentation. At the time, he had since revised the documents. We used to have students here that lived in the station.
Right.
And he came in here, and I think it was a 60 or a 62% reduction in call force response. He tamped that down a little because he took those students up, they're no longer with us. And when they were living in the building, they responded to just about every call. So they kind of skewed those results a little. But when he took the students out, I think he was still at over 50% reduced call force response.
Yeah.
So it's still very significant. And I think the new numbers he had are a little more realistic with today's staffing, because the students are gone.
Yeah. They also said that the students can't go, they have to be accompanied or
Yes.
with someone that's, fully certified and trained
They're there
at all
or
times. They can't be
They're
out on
ones
their
They
own.
can lift and help.
Right.
Some of them are right out of high school. As as an aside, and I do not want to spend a lot of time on this because this is a topic that I'm careful about when I say it. I mean, I think the selectmen have met with the Limerick selectmen. All 5 Limerick selectmen came down here to have a workshop. I think there's opportunity in the future for us to do some things in terms of fire and EMS. I don't know what that will be.
Right.
In the perfect world right now, I'd go to North Waterboro, I'd plunk a station right down there for the 2 towns. It's about halfway between one end of the town and the other. And you can make a good case for that. But politically, I don't think we're anywhere near that. But it's not going to save you a ton of money, but Limerick has some real problems. And they just went 24/7 with per diems last week, I think. Matt just learned that.
You mean 24/7?
Limerick now has coverage with either 1 or 2 people in their station 24/7. They never had that. They had per diems on during the day for either an 8 or a 12-hour shift, and then there was nobody in the station.
Is it mostly a volunteer fire?
Nights and weekends.
Is it mostly a volunteer?
Yes,
Yeah.
same problem.
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting we propose something.
Right.
It's Limerick is part of this budget.
Yeah. Okay.
So what's your pleasure?
Start voting.
Start on page 1, or what do you want to do? You want to start at the back page and give me orders of what to do. Most of the time, the selectmen have done that, but I want you to know that I'm open to that. Whether it's the board of selectmen, my 5 bosses, or you folks. If you want to direct me to take X dollars out and have the bottom line a certain figure, I'll happily do that. I think it's better if you do it, but either way is fine with me.
You guys want to start from number 1 and work through? all
Yes.
Probably would be the easiest.
Yeah.
All right.
Then we know where we're at.
Yeah.
First page, number 1, general government. The department recommended $437,560. Town administrator recommended the same.
When you figure out their longevity bonuses, Gary, do you have a step program that you're going by? Or
7, 14, and 7, 13, and 20.
7, 13, and 20?
Is that right?
Yes, 7, 14, and 20. It's right in the personnel policy.
Okay.
It's 13, 26, and 39.
So it's $13 a week, the first step,
Okay.
then 26, then 39. One other thing to show you as a change, and Julie helped with that, and that's line 9. The motor vehicle agent is also Nancy Johnson, who does our general assistance. GA is down, so you'll see this line increased by over $3,000. Some of that is because her time out here is not being spent as much in general assistance. And if you go back to the general assistance line, salary line, you see that one down, because she's simply not doing that much time out in this economy.
Whoa.
So,
Okay, can I say something that I'm seeing has been changed?
what's that?
Line 8,
Yep,
so that doesn't affect, your FICA is off and the retirement is off, because the figure I used in there was 40,500, and now you're putting in there as a 40-hour work week.
that's true, and thank you for catching that, because that just happened today as my assistant Sherry Meadow is retiring. So, this is not Julie's fault, she didn't have that information, so we'll have to flag this and put in, add to retirement. So what I did is I took her pay rate, just for planning purposes and budgeting purposes, and called it 40 hours, because I think when the person is tired, they'll want to, and I would rather have them here 40 hours and not 32. It worked out okay with Sherry taking Mondays off. She needed that time for some other personal things in her life, but she will be leaving us as of early May. So we got to add that to retirement. Thank you, Julie.
So you're still staying with the 48,000?
Yes. The total on row 2 is correct. The But Julie's right, in that we bumped this up essentially by 8 hours of time.
Any discussion? Any other discussions? Do I hear,
Do you want to approve the entire general government budget, or do you want to do it line by line?
we could do the entire general budget unless somebody has.
Can I speak on that salary again? So you're gonna start it right out at what Sherry's scale is right now?
No, that's what I budgeted for.
Okay, because that's the, all right, you budgeted it in there for $23 an hour.
That's correct. That doesn't mean we'll spend it.
And Sherry started at $21.50 when you hired her
Yep,
and had to work up since she's been here since 2016.
that is correct. Remember, just because I budget something, that's to cover it, doesn't mean I'm gonna spend it all.
We're watching you.
We have
She
money.
is watching.
We have money. She's doing her job.
Sorry.
She didn't even know this line had been changed, and it's not her fault. It's been a wild day in here.
Can I make a suggestion? Pass Department 10 until I get a chance to get it up accurately, then you're not guesstimating on figures?
No, I'm not changing this number.
No,
budgeting
but
this
I
number.
gotta fix your retirement.
So line 16 is going to change.
Yes,
Right.
That's fine.
Okay, well,
because Sherry's retirement isn't in there at all, and I'm presuming that the new person, she doesn't partake of retirement, and I would presume the new one would. So that salary's not in there at all.
okay.
I just don't wanna, hey, what'd you do?
All right, we'll move down.
Okay.
Get that one now, go to leases.
Yep. Leases and debts. Total of $294,364 in leases and debts. And, well, we don't have anything coming off this year, do we? Next year we do.
A couple of things coming off next year.
Four coming off.
Four coming off next year.
Do we have a motion on it?
I move we accept the 294,364 for leases and debt service.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
5-0.
Insurances and benefits.
You want to do the same thing here,
Yeah.
Julie?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I've changed this afternoon to that one part-time person, so let's get those numbers exact. I'm sorry, top page 4.
Town clerk.
I'll move $69,060.
Second.
Any discussion? No. All in favor?
5-0.
And tax collector. It's $45,533. Department recommended, the town administrator recommends $45,533. Same thing. What would you like to do?
I'd like to move zero, but I don't think we can do that.
Yeah. Well, we could.
She's well worth the money.
I'll move the 45,533.
Second?
It's been seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
5-0.
40. 45. Excuse me. And the treasurer.
Don't get this one, there, she paid it.
And help you guys have the right figures.
The department recommended 69,350. Town administrator recommended 69,350. What would you folks like to do?
I'll move to 69,350. It'd be approved.
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor of 69,350?
5-0.
And the next one is the IT department, which I will abstain from.
The department recommended 130,225. Town administrator recommended the same. What are your feelings?
I move we accept the 132.25 for the IT department.
A second.
Okay. Any discussion? No. All in favor?
You have 4-0-1, I assume, right?
Yes.
The folks listening at home, that's because Jim works part-time for IT reporting meetings like this one. Thank you for that.
Number 35, municipal buildings, primary town hall. Department recommended 104.5. Town administrator recommends 104.5.
In situations like this, Mr. Chairman, the department recommendation is one and the same to me, so.
Okay.
Have you done anything with the cleaning for this year?
I have the person, or the entity rather, I'd like to hire. They just got sick when in the hospital. And I'm also not eager to do this right now because Pete Cody's, the time that he's going to have outside projects, more of the outside projects is going to be in the spring to the fall.
Okay.
So I haven't been eager to do that this winter since I took, so I admittedly took so long to get this person hired on. We also had another line in the mapping arena that we purposely overspent for a really good reason by, I think, $16,000. So that was another minor motivation for not doing this. The basic cleaning is still being done mostly on Tuesday mornings. We're open Mondays, he can do some, but not as much as he used to. This entity that I would try out for the rest of the fiscal year would come on Monday nights.
On Monday night?
Yep.
So for which months? March, April, May, and June?
I would like to think they're working by the end of March.
By the end of March,
Yeah.
okay. So that would be...
Monday's going to be a little dirty in here compared to what we're used to, but I mean, Pete's not going to be absolved of all cleaning. I think sometimes in his mind he thinks he's going to be, but that's not going to be the case.
So that would be 4 nights a month?
Yes,
Okay,
52 Mondays a year.
okay.
Gary, on line 140, the 10,000 emergency fund, if we had 10,000 for the current fiscal year, where, and it says it's going to be carried forward annually, does that mean if we didn't, it's not gonna build up, it's not gonna be 20,000?
It will.
That's the idea.
Okay, so where's the money?
We
In the general fund?
Emergency, no.
No, it's in your expense line, and you will see it on your budgets, that if you go online, it's set out there, and when it comes to election time, they'll be voted to carry it over, because that's an emergency fund that we've been recommended by the auditors to build up in case of a disaster like.
Right, so you know that you have 20,000 then, if
Right,
this
we
is
were also-
approved?
We were also talking about having an automatically funded reserve account that R.H.R. Smith, our auditors, is going to help us about.
Yeah.
If some of the monies in the budget that we could divert, correct me if I'm wrong here, Julie, particular pots of money could be diverted, let's say capital or public works, into this capital reserve fund if unspent.
Right.
There was a way we could do that, we haven't done it yet. But right now, this emergency fund is at 20,000 in this year.
What's the target that we want to build this up to?
Oh, jeepers, I mean, I would like to think 6 figures.
Well, we were thinking that someday we could make a major purchase without financing it out of this fund. That was the goal.
I think that you said
Is that
that
correct?
last year.
Your accountant will tell you, don't you dare do that because you're using short-term money for long-term gain. I personally like the idea of buying pickup trucks and not big fire trucks, but other things like that that I might put in a one-year budget, pay cash for it, you don't have to give it out of the taxpayer.
Do we need to put that much mileage in for this department? Because if we get the new pickup truck, that truck's gonna be sitting out here, the way David spoke at the budget meeting?
I'd like to think that happens, but I'll be pleasantly surprised if it does. I mean, I think we need to allow for, I mean, Pete's doing, what, 100, 150 miles a week?
If, that's minimum, yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what, this is most of his mileage here. So I'd like to keep that until we know that we're not spending it. David's green truck, David Benton's green truck, in theory can come back here and spend many of its days in the parking lot available for either recreation or feed coating the custodian. That was the design of buying it. That puts David driving his own personal vehicle.
No, I meant Tommy's truck.
If that stays,
Yeah.
that would be available for anybody to drive in the summer.
Right, that's what I was referring
Yes.
to.
Oh, is that what you meant? Yeah.
Yes, no, I
That's a
didn't mean
possibility.
David's, because then we've already cut his figures in his mileage.
Yep.
Plus, if you had Glenn's out here and it wasn't being used.
Yeah, they share that now.
Okay. Any
Now,
more
one other note here, one thing that we'll probably pull the trigger on this before the selectmen are done. In line 128, we talked about should put the number 5 in there. This is 5 new 5-drawer file cabinets. Julie's office for the liens we have to store, new documents. I'd like to think that we can buy those this fiscal year. And you see this line jump $2,500, which is what those file cabinets would cost. I'd like to think before the selectmen have done this, would come back down to $17,000, but I don't know that yet.
So are you looking to hold the vote on that then?
No, I think go ahead and pass it, and if we need to adjust it, we can adjust it later.
Do I hear a motion either way?
I'll move we accept the $104,500 on the municipal buildings.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Glad you-
Section 40, line 141, tax assessor.
I'll move 71,400.
Okay.
Second?
Any discussion?
So the girl, instead of hiring clerical for her, this is where the 5,000 would come in extra for the person to help work with her?
And in my mind, if Georgia or somebody else comes in there and helps out for that money that's not budgeted elsewhere, this is where it comes. So it's not necessarily a new person, but the man hours still intend to make that happen. And I think the 5,000 would be enough. Next year, when this person maybe has some more training and maybe some more parental availability, maybe there could be some regular hours in there, surely not here. That'd be my goal long term. To have maybe at least the mornings when Shirley's not here, to have a presence in that office. With work to do at the
Yeah.
desk, not just sitting.
Okay.
So I have a second and a motion for 71-4. Any other discussion? All in favor? Code enforcement.
Are we gonna need, I know last year in the vehicle maintenance, when we had that car, we had it, are we gonna need as much for repairs and maintenance on the vehicle?
Well, good point, and I'll bring up 2 points here. One is it's another change that I don't think Julie's seen this yet. She and I haven't had much time to talk about this, we haven't had any. If you look under line 154, the overtime, what, did you take that down to 2,000, Julie? Row 154?
Tax. I took it down to 2,200.
Okay. Let me tell you the reason I came back up for this. Yeah, he's going to planning board and zoning board of appeals meetings, but he's also at times working another hour or 2 per week. And I don't know that 2,200, correct me if I'm wrong in the way you were thinking, Julie, I don't know that counted for that. And this past summer was not as busy as the one before, but I don't want to underfund the salary line, so I had it initially, or Glenn had it initially, I'm sorry, at 3,500 in column B, from row 154. I took it down to 3,000, but I took Julie's 2,200 estimate out. Julie, I assume you were looking at what we actually spent the previous year?
But I was figuring how many hours he is working too. I'm just going back and give me a second and I'll have that for
So
you.
you averaged the whole number of hours for the prior year, and that's how you came to that figure?
Yep, just a moment. Times 1.5. Because that's at 45.83 an hour.
Planning board's not gonna have as many meetings now, are they?
You never know.
Actually, they're gonna start on redoing the zoning, village zoning. So I think Glenn may be even more in demand than normal.
That's 48 hours overtime.
But that's not even an hour a week. So, for your 2,200?
Yes,
Okay.
and he wasn't working that because of holidays and what, you don't get paid overtime, so.
Well, if you want to take yours down to 2,500, I don't have a problem with that. We'll make do. I guess what Julie saying, we do not need the bottom line is we do not need the 3,500 that Glenn proposed compared to last year.
But that brings me back to that line 170.
Oh, yes.
Are we gonna need that much to repair the pickup truck?
We took the fuel out, you look under number 164 for fuel.
Right.
So we separated that. I hope that your intuition is correct. We put a bunch of money in that truck this fiscal year.
We spent $3,100 on that truck so far this year. That's why I bumped it up.
And half of that was the first, when we first got it for
Yeah.
ball joints and rust and whatever else.
This came from the fire department, so,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah, it's 12 years old.
Yeah, it's an 8, just like mine.
It's a turkey shoot.
I guess we could leave it in there, and if we don't spend it, it just reverts to the general fund.
That's correct. So back up to 154, do you want to leave that line at $3,000 or do you want to reduce it?
I say we need to reduce it a little bit.
It's fine with me.
Come in between
The number.
2,500.
2,500, yeah.
Okay. That would make your top line 70,900. I'm sorry, that's the wrong line.
So that doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
Pretty good math there, man. That's tight, code enforcement.
So it'd be 90,914.
That is correct. Thank you.
I'll move 90,914.
I'll second that.
Any other discussions? No. All in favor of 90,914?
5-0.
The library.
There was something going on there today, I didn't get a good look at the board. The library parking lot was full.
That happens a lot lately.
Yeah.
I drove by too, same thing.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of activity at the library.
Was this the Everest guy today?
I'm not sure.
I didn't get a good look at the board.
I thought it said something about the teas.
Teens?
Teas. T-E-A.
Was it the herbal teas? Was that something like that?
I don't know. There's always something going on.
I saw that on the board.
They make the most out of that little building.
How old is that building anyways?
Oh, jeepers.
Older than God, I think.
Built in the 40s, maybe?
It sure looks it. You look at it downstairs.
I don't think any later. It was a school. Doug Julio Senior went to school there as a kid. And that's good one person.
Well, I'll move the 114,350.
I'll second that.
Second and, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? No?
I think we get a pretty good bang for our buck with the library.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
All in favor of 114,350?
0.
Recreation. You're asking for $323,400.
Of which 75% comes back to us?
Right.
Is that my understanding?
Yeah, it's just a little north of 200. Right now, in this year, we budgeted him for just under 199 in revenue. He's collected 83.
Okay.
Summer camp, team camp is already full. Doing it in February.
Because he said it's going to be hard, other than the trips, to raise any more money, because it is
Yeah.
full.
Well, let me look at Tim and say, with this revelation about Friendship Park, how's that going to affect it, or is it not going to affect recreation at all?
That should not.
They don't use
I think
Friendship
this
Park.
is just a temporary second.
Oh, sweet.
This
My
is a
understanding.
10-year-old mistake of quit claim deed having the wrong description on it.
We
We've
can
never
we can paperwork fix that?
double quit claim those back to their respective apartments, so.
Okay.
Well,
Then
interesting.
I'll move 323,400 for recreation.
Can I say something before you go there?
Sure.
Line 237. Should that not be under Dave Benton?
Well, they discussed that, and because Todd was having that completely offset by sponsors, the two of them approached to me and said that Todd would keep this in here. So it needs to be in the expense line because we're gonna pay a bill, I guess. But
That's done by another,
the softball leagues
Entity.
are going to pay, are going to reimburse the town for this amount of money. So it'll net out at zero.
Okay.
So there'll be an accompanying revenue line in the recreation revenue budget, if you will, with the same amount. The DPW field text in there was for Friendship Park Field. Which we wouldn't have back under, but ownership by then, obviously.
so I have a motion for 323,
400.
400.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Can I have you hold before you do this?
Yeah.
Why was my figures for the travel reduced back down? I put in $3,000 there and reduced the training to 200 and crossed out uniforms and put in a new uniform line. On line 223,
Yep.
I put in for $3,000 because of what is being spent right now by Todd going around, as well as Laura. And then on the training, I crossed out the uniforms because now you have a uniforms line. I reduced that, took out Todd's uniforms for by $500 and added the $500 to the uniform line. So that
the training and uniform should be 2,000? Is that what you're saying?
the training cross-off uniforms is just training, is $2,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's make those changes here.
So
Line
224.
224, take the word uniforms out of there. And
Yeah.
change that to 2,000.
And add that 500 to travel. Is that what you're saying?
The travel, yes, goes up to
The
3,000.
uniforms line is okay at 500.
Yes,
So take the travel line to an even 3. So bottom line doesn't change.
That doesn't change the total.
right, that just changes your individuals.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So you're still all set, gentlemen.
So you vote in your motion total is still accurate.
Except isn't 223 3,000 now?
No.
Didn't you say the travel based on what they're,
You're adding 500 and subtracting 500, so it's a wash.
Travel went up 5, training went down 5.
yes, but then you have the line for uniforms. Was that
But it's already
there?
there.
It's already
in the
It's already
total.
in
Yeah,
there.
that's
Okay.
in total.
Thank you.
Okay. So I have a motion and a second for 323-4.
Should we vote on 223 and 224?
I'm going to make that change if you vote it this
Okay.
way.
Okay.
You can if you want to. individually.
You want to vote it individually? Sure, we could do that. Do I have a motion for 223?
Motion for 3,000.
For 3,000? Okay. Bring that line back to 3,000.
Mhm.
I have a second.
Yeah, I'll second that.
All in favor? And 224, bring that down to 2,000.
I'll move that, 2,000.
Second.
And seconded, all in favor? Brings us back to the total 323-4. We have a motion and a second for 323-4. No other discussions? No. All in favor?
Good. Now you total. Oh, that's the last one you did, sorry.
Yeah, balance sheet.
Planning board.
Planning board. Not much news there.
$8,050 they're requesting. $25 per meeting.
I'll move we accept the 8,050 for the planning board.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion?
I'm still unhappy with that salaries. I don't think, I just, it doesn't seem right to me that we are paying people to, basically, we're asking people to volunteer their time, and I voiced my disapproval of this last year. I just don't think it's right.
Can I say something?
I
So,
would agree.
you think they shouldn't get anything?
Well, I don't want money to be here. I don't know if the selectmen are paid, but that's a different,
But all the committees now, all the major committees now are paid.
I just.
That's something we added last year.
I know.
Part of it is we're just having trouble getting people on the committees, and we thought that might help.
I don't think it has.
No,
No.
but
We still have 21 openings the last
it's a
time I
try, I
checked.
guess.
We still had a lot of,
People don't know about it.
we had quite a bit of turnover this year on that board too, right?
Maybe we should post it on Facebook.
And you could, if you want to raise that issue when we get to the, next to the last page, we have a board and committee stipend, row 529. That's where we put the whole 6,500 in there for, oh, jeepers, we've got this double counted. If this is accurate, then,
Yeah, PB is listed in here in line 529.
it is. I'd rather keep the planning board money there as is and adjust the others. We've been paying them for a long time. So that's my recommendation, to leave this 3,000 as
So on line 529, take out 3,000 from that line?
when we get there, you can,
You're gonna have to take out that in the ZBA, because the ZBA's is there too.
DBA is in the budget line?
Yes?
Okay, good. Let's adjust that big line in 529 when we get to it. Yep, salaries, good. And then you can have a philosophical discussion amongst yourself whether or not you want to recommend it to be that at all. We have a motion second for EE 50, right?
Yes. Any other discussion? All in favor of the 8,050? And all opposed?
4? You're up.
3-2.
You're up.
3-2.
4-1.
3-2.
3-2, I'm sorry.
And did you want to continue, or it's 6 o'clock, did you want to call it a night?
Yeah, we can. You guys want to call it a night?
That's fine. It's up to you guys.
We've made good progress for
Do it a little more.
but whatever you guys
The
want.
planning department and zoning
Oh,
board.
you're halfway through.
You can do the smaller ones.
Okay.
Are we meeting Monday with the holiday?
It's a question.
The Community Center Steering Committee, it's going to meet that night. So if we want another longer meeting to get done like we're doing tonight, I guess we ought to pick a different day.
It's vacation week, so.
Unfortunately, Wednesday, the 19th is a planning board meeting, so we have to bump it to Tuesday, the 18th. If that's okay.
Tuesday the 18th is better for me. Are you going to be around?
I'll be around.
That extra 30 minutes, you folks meeting, I mean, you get going and you might finish your deliberations at that 90-minute meeting. You might not make it for 60 minutes. So,
I'll shoot for Tuesday.
The 18th? Okay.
Tuesday, 4:30.
Same time.
Excellent, thank
Is there anything you want from me?
you. So then we will pick it up. You want to talk about planning department now, or you want to call it and then come back?
I think we get through 2 more.
Yeah, let's do the next
62
couple.
and 65.
Yeah,
Okay.
Do we get in?
Yeah.
go with the planning department. They're requesting $78,996. And the town administrator recommends $78,996. Any discussion? Or,
I'll move 78,996.
Second.
we got a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? No? All in favor?
5-0. ZBA is easy, but maybe stay away from public safety, how's that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, the zoning board of appeals, which I will have to abstain from this one as well, because I'm on the zoning board of appeals.
Okay, it's been recommended for the zoning board of appeals, $3,850. And that was leaving salaries in there?
Correct.
Okay.
It's like a salary line.
Yep.
So again, that, and the other figure we saw for the planning board, you're gonna take off the big number.
We'll double check that before next week to make sure that he's not, that we have double counted. I think we did double count, yeah.
Mhm.
Looks like
It looks it.
a motion.
I'll move we accept the 3850 for the zoning board.
I second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
401.
Okay. So, public safety. Tuesday.
So you're adjourning the meeting?
Yeah, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, and a second,
second.
okay.
6:07 PM.
All in favor?
Thank
Good
you
night.
for all being here.
We seem to be pretty far ahead of where we were
I
last year.
think we're way ahead of where we were last year.
Last year.
Remember last year, we were pushing, the ballots were actually about to go out and still in the process.